Adrian, you've gone from the A-League system to English football. For young players watching this, what's the single biggest adjustment you've had to make to survive in this arriving route?
Yeah, I think just the amount of games and obviously now the change of weather definitely takes an effect on your body. But I'd definitely say the biggest thing is, like the past Christmas period, we've had, I think, 4 games in 9 days, and that's unheard of in Australian football.
English football's famously physical and it's got a high tempo. How does week-to-week grind here compare to what you've experienced in Australia?
Yeah, just the preparation's obviously a lot different. You got to, if you have a bad result, you don't got the week to work on it, fix on things. You got 2 days to bounce back and have another game. So I think the biggest difference is obviously, there's no 7-day preparation. You got 1-2 days max, and you got to get your body right to go again and make sure to compete, like you said, at the physical high pace of this level.
And Portsmouth, a club with a strong identity, demanding supporters. How quickly did you realise what the badge meant to this city?
I think from the first day I got here, I saw the fans and how much they love the club, and I think how passionate they are and how much they're live. It depends on the club as well, if we win or lose, and how we play, and even our away fans, the way they travel. The travel we have to do as well for them to do is obviously immense as well. So I definitely think the support at this club is, I'd definitely say, one of the best in the championship, and people love to say Fradon Park is the best atmosphere, and I definitely felt that from the first game here, even in the friendlies.
And the FA Cup's iconic worldwide. As an Australian kid growing up, what are your memories of the competition?
Yeah, obviously I've pretty young, so it's more recent years. I think I've more watched the FA Cup and been involved in watching a lot of football then. So it's obviously a massive competition, and I think it's lucky for clubs like this to get to verse, you could arguably say, one of the best teams in the world right now. So it's opportunity for us players, and I think for the club and fans to see the difference between the levels, and us players as well, compare ourselves to the best of the best. And
you've come through at Sydney FC Academy, the NPL, and first team squads with Hayden Matthews. Now you're both at Portsmouth. What's your relationship like with it?
Yeah, good. We've obviously known each other now and been playing together for, I'd say, 10, 11 years now. So we definitely know each other pretty well. Our families know each other. So it was good to come here and have someone that's you're so close with, to be able to gel with. Yeah, we've obviously roomed at national team as well, so we room here as well. So it's definitely a good bond, and it makes it a lot easier to have someone you know so well. You
play against fellow Australians in the Championship every week. How special is it to see a generation of Aussies coming through together in this league and playing in an iconic tournament like the FA Cup?
Yeah, I think it's massive for Australian sport, especially. I think with the World Cup, we've qualified now and coming up for that. I think it's a lot of boys want to fight for minutes and get into that World Cup squad. So to be playing in this league and this tournament, I think it's a massive place to showcase yourself. And I think a lot of people are going to be watching back home and in the whole country and around the world. So for us to be able to play in the Championship and this Cup, I think it's massive to showcase Australian football, and for us Australian players to show ourselves and get out there on the big stage.
And speaking of that, how much does every strong performance here, especially at this stage of the FA Cup, act as an audition for future national team opportunities?
Yeah, massive. I think it's extra games as well. The further we go in the competition means more games, more minutes for everyone, and I think to be able to go out there and beat Arsenal is a massive statement. So I don't know what better place to do it at Fradon Park. I think football, anything can happen, and I think especially at Fradon, if the crowd gets behind us and the boys give everything, anything can happen.